Never coming close, in any such anthology, to exhausting the limitless possibilities implicitly inherent in the concept. Indeed, there are books of precisely this sort, such as 1,000 Chairs. If the concept chair were completely straightforward, it is hard to see what interest such a book could possibly have. To appreciate the beauty, the originality, the practicality, or the style of a particular chair requires a great deal of experience and expertise, of which dictionaries cannot convey even an iota. One could, of course, make similar observations concerning the subtleties of various types of bands. Thus one could spend one's whole life studying jazz bands, or headbands, or criminal bands, and so forth, and even concepts that seem much simpler than these are actually endless swamps of complexity. Take the concept of the capital letter A, for instance. One would need many pages of text and complex quasi-legal language if one were trying to pin down just what it is that we recognize in common among the countless thousands of shapes that we effortlessly perceive as members of that category. Something that goes way beyond the simple notion that most people have of the concept of the letter A, namely that it consists of two oppositely leaning diagonal strokes connected by a horizontal crossbar. Indeed, catalogues of typefaces are veritable gold mines for anyone interested in the richness of categories. If we were to collect a sampler of capital A's designed for use in advertising, it would be clear from a moment's observation any a priori notion that one might have dreamt up of A-ness would be contradicted by one or more of these letters, and yet each of them is perfectly recognizable, if not effortlessly so, when displayed all by itself, then certainly in the context of a word or sentence. The everyday concepts, band, chair, teapot, mess, the letter A, are very different from specialized notions such as prime number or DNA. The latter also have unimaginably many members, but what is shared by all their members is expressible precisely and unambiguously. By contrast, in the mental structure underpinning a word like band, chair, mess, or teapot, there looks a boundless, blurry richness that is completely passed over by dictionaries, because spelling out such subtleties is not a dictionary's aim. And the fact is that ordinary words don't have just 2 or 3, but an unlimited number of meanings, which is quite a scary thought. However, the more positive side of this thought is that each concept has a limitless potential for variety. This is a rather pleasing thought, at least for people who are curious and who are stimulated by novelty. Zeugmas, amusing revealers of conceptual subtlety. There is a linguistic notion called zeugma, also sometimes called solipsis, that although it is fairly obscure, has a good deal of charm and brings out the hidden richness of words and thus of concepts. The zeugma, or solipsis, is one of the classical figures of speech and is often, perhaps nearly always, used to humorous effect. It is characterized by the fact that more than one meaning of a word is exploited in a sentence, although the word itself appears only once. For example, I'll meet you in 5 minutes and the garden. This sentence exploits two different meanings of the preposition in, one temporal and the other spatial. When one imagines meeting someone in a garden, one sees in one's mind's eye two relatively small entities physically surrounded by a larger entity, whereas when one imagines a meeting taking place in 5 minutes, one thinks of the period of time that separates two specific moments from each other. Everyone understands with no trouble that these are two very different concepts associated with the same word, and the fact that the preposition in is used only once in the sentence, despite the wide gap between the two meanings that it's conveying, is what makes us smile when we read the sentence. Here are a few other somewhat humorous examples of zeugmas. Kurt was and spoke German. The bartender gave me a wink and a drink. She restored my painting and my faith in humanity.